The guy responsible for those decisions, like the head of the Twitter censorship unit, his actual title is, he's now former head of Twitter's Trust and Safety Department. And he did oversee this decision, this particular decision, to suppress the New York Post's reporting. He sat down with Kara Swisher over on her podcast on November 30th. His name is Yoel Roth. And I heard this on Ben Shapiro's show and went back and listened myself, and my God. The guy, first of all, he said, yeah, okay, maybe it was a mistake to censor that story. Yeah, but it was very difficult to initially verify it. That's why. You made no effort. You made zero effort whatsoever. And by the way, let's not forget, when Twitter censored it, it was before those alleged intelligence officials came out and said, oh, looks like disinformation. Twitter went before those guys. This guy, Yoel Roth, who absolutely knows nothing, decided it was disinformation before General Michael Hayden did. So then she follows up and asks him about, was it the right decision to ban Donald Trump from Twitter? Now this one he stands behind. This was absolutely the right one. And they get into January 6th. This is all speaking on the fear factor, okay, that just washes over huge portions of the Democratic base. Listen to this exchange.
Donald Trump.
That one I don't think was a mistake.
January 6th.
So it starts on the 6th, but it also starts prior to that. The events of the 6th happen. And if you talk to content moderators who worked on January 6th, myself included, the word that nearly everybody uses is trauma. Mm-hmm. We experienced those events, not some of us as Americans, but not just as Americans or as citizens, but as people working on sort of how to prevent harm on the internet.
My God. Moynihan, thoughts?
Do you have an extra 40 minutes? Trauma. I love this. This is a word that has been, I was actually talking to a friend about this morning. We saw this in another context. There's a certain generational thing where people abuse this. And I hope they understand that in other countries, I mean, let's do the throat clearing. The January 6th was an abomination and horrifying and a dark day for America. I don't, like Chuck Schumer, compare it to Pearl Harbor or anything like that. But trauma for whom? For you and Twitter headquarters in San Francisco? If you look out into the great wide world, there's all sorts of news stories happening in lots of countries, which are far more like actually traumatic than something happening with a bunch of yahoos that are trying to storm the Capitol and overturn the election, which was never going to happen. But the other thing about this is I stick by the Donald Trump banning. Does anyone ever stop and think about how useless it is? That it's just virtue signaling? Because, Megyn, we talked about this at the top of the show. Donald Trump had this little epistle the other day about shredding the Constitution. And it was in some language that resembled English. It was kind of like a hybrid of English and like some sort of Sasquatch language. And I saw it. I don't have Truth Social. It was everywhere on Twitter because people take screenshots of it and put it on Twitter. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to suppress the bad information? Because we need that information. The man has actually said he's going to run for president in 2024, and he was previously the president. What is the idea here? That, well, no, I just want to signal me, random guy that works at Twitter in the trust and safety and protection and trauma division, that I don't like these ideas. In the trauma ward. We are very, very upset about them. We have to get them off. It's like, well, you're not going to suppress them, are you? I mean, Alex Jones got banned, and I've interviewed Alex Jones, as you have, Megyn. I think he's a nut. I think he's a performance artist. I think he's a ludicrous person in so many ways. And he did an interview with Kanye or Yee or whatever his pronouns are.
Yay.
And Yay. And sorry, Camille. And I saw it everywhere. Despite the fact that he's been banned from YouTube and banned from Twitter. And it's like, you can't contain this kind of information. So for the ridiculous Kara Swisher to be up there with this ridiculous guy saying, how do we sort of contain all this information? You can. It's called the fucking internet. And you are doing this for yourself. You're doing this so you look good. You're not doing it like the New York Post story. And I'll knock on Republicans a little bit here when they say, much like Democrats said that, Hillary Clinton would have won the race in 2016 hadn't been for these Facebook ads that Russia took out. The sort of inverse of that is now that had people known about the Hunter Biden laptop, Donald Trump would have lost. I think that's patently absurd.
Yeah.
But also that information got out there, number one. This is all sorts of alternative news outlets. I think that the Twitter stuff is absolutely absurd.
It did appear in the Post. It was in the Post.
It was in the Post. It was on the front cover of the New York Post. It's absurd and Orwellian that they're shutting down a New York Post news story. By the way, the idea that you can't verify something, how many Russiagate stories could you actually verify by,
Ridiculous.
Tunneling into the Kremlin, going through the files into seeing if this stuff was true? Verification happened when nobody from Hunter Biden's office returned a call to say, that's not my laptop. That's
right.
That's
and I'll
where
sue
you
your
start
asses.
reporting it. Oh,
That's
God,
exactly right. And by the way, they weren't worried about verifying Sarah Palin's emails when they reported those after they'd been hacked.
Well,
they had absolutely no problem verifying that. It made her look bad. Print. That's it. So who are they kidding? They have no moral high ground. I don't know whether it would have changed the election. I find it very hard to believe. The stuff about Hunter and the big guy being corrupt, now we're talking, right? If the media had done its job and really framed the story properly, not Hunter Biden's D-pics and his prostitutes and his drugs, like he's a hot mess loser. That's not going to change hearts and minds before an election. But he's a corrupt jerk who brought his dad in on all of his shady business dealings, and we're about to put that guy back in the White House. And by the way, Hunter will be there right alongside him. That could have given some people pause. We'll never know. That's the bottom line. We'll never know. And that's because of them and guys like this who are swimming in their trauma. It's their own politics and their own politics of fear. These are the people who are running our social media sites, our government. To me, it's so disheartening. I look at them like, would you man up? Bond Charge is a holistic wellness brand with a huge range of evidence-based products to optimize your life in every way. Founded on science and inspired by nature, all Bond Charge products adopt ancestral ways of living in our modern-day world. From blue light glasses to red light therapy to EMF management and circadian-friendly lighting, Bond Charge products help you naturally address the issues of our modern-day way of life effortlessly. Their glasses come in non-prescription, prescription, and in reading options. Bond Charge also has other amazing products like low blue light bulbs, red light therapy devices, EMF 5G protection, and 100% blackout sleep masks. Love those, all backed by science. They can ship worldwide in rapid time, and most importantly, they have easy returns and exchanges. Go to bondcharge.com/MK and use the coupon code MK to save yourself 20% off your order. That's BONCHARGE.com/MK and use that coupon code MK to save 20% off your order. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.